The current ousted president of Guinea-Bissau, Umaru Sissoco Umbalo, has been deposed to the Republic of Congo at the moment, and the new sworn-in military head of state is General Horta Intataman. So he has started to rule the Guinea-Bissau, and from what I've heard, the Guinea-Bissau has been ousted from the African Union for this because the African Union is a firm believer of democracy. So we have to look at these things like this. Does democracy work in Africa? Is democracy enticing to the people of Africa to say, oh, this is a system of government that works for the people, a government of the people, by the people, for the people? You have to understand that the bedrock of democracy, America, is over 200 years old. So they've been able to teeth it for the past over 2 centuries. You have to understand that a black person like me is 1/5 of a person at one point in the United States. So it needed time to be able to tweak and be customized to a system that works for the American people. In Africa, it is of my opinion that we need to work on a system of government that works for us, because we did have a system before we were colonized by the British, by the Portuguese, by the Dutch, by the Americans, by the people of Belgium and so many other countries. How, the Berlin Conference, we were just split up like a sandwich. So we have to understand to look at what works for us. I listened to a conversation, on the RT channel on YouTube with David Hundeyin, a Libyan former minister, and Samson Itodo discuss what the future is for Africa in terms of what systems of government work for us. Samson Itodo is of the opinion that democracy still works, but the political elite need to be put in check. My question is, by who? Are we allowed to protest? Do they hear us? Can corruption be curbed? Has civil society been successful in doing that? And civil society comes from the people. So if our people are not educated enough, then it's virtually impossible. I'm not saying democracy is not a good system. It's just a system that needs to be tweaked, and the separation of powers need to be emphasized, enough to make sure that people feel like they have hope. David Hundeyin is of the opinion that democracy is sponsored by the West, and it is another invisible hand of control of the African countries and countries of the global South. That is what David Hundeyin is saying. And he's saying that the military, it may be people's only option, based on what we have available to us as Africans. My own issue with that is this: not every military dictator is a Pan-Africanist. Not every military dictator is looking for sovereignty. They have their own interests. For example, the military ruler of Gabon, the military ruler of Guinea-Bissau right now, and the military ruler of those other countries. We don't know what their interests are. Niger, Burkina Faso, and Mali, they are an exception. They may not be the rule, you know. So I don't know whether the military is a safe option. I know, David, you spoke about the Chinese system of government, in terms of the communism, that people may not agree with the system of government, obviously, but it does not negate the results. That may or may not work for Africans. We have to do something that works for us. And Guinea-Bissau, I have a feeling, is not going to be the last democracy that might be toppled, because it's not showing something that's favorable to us. Look at Uganda. How many years, has Museveni been there? What about Paul Biya in Cameroon? You could talk about so many other presidents that are just there, they don't want to leave. So we need to do something that works for us Africans. Or if we want to do the democracy, how about we tweak it? And how about there be a system that the people have to hold our leaders accountable without a fear of backlash? So that's my take. Good luck. Jonathan said we need to continue to fight for democracy, because the worst democracy is better than the best dictatorship. That's what he's saying. He's saying that even if only 5 countries that are members of ECOWAS that are democratic, that we should keep the flag going. That's what Good Luck Billy Jonathan is saying. What do you guys think? Let's hear it in the comments.